Hey, uh, I just got to my hotel. It is 9:21, and that's late. But weirdly, I don't feel tired or as tired as I normally would. My flight into Tokyo has changed schedule. It landed a couple hours later, or it was scheduled to land a couple hours later than it used to. It actually landed about half an hour earlier today. Um, and because of that, I knew I was not going to be able to get my express train that I like to take. So when I was at the airport, I just took my time. I actually checked my carry-on bag for this flight to see how that works. And when I was going through customs clearance, I got put in the wrong line. So even though I had the QR ready and everything, apparently they've got this new third option, which is called the Fast Pass. And I got put in the Fast Pass line. I was told to go in there by this one woman. She's like the gatekeeper for the entire induction process, and she was just completely overwhelmed. There was like 100 tourists coming at her, and she's like, "You go there, you go there, you go there. You have a QR code, you go there. Are you a visitor? You go there. Are you a resident? You go there." And I said, "I have a QR code," and she said, "Go there," and she sent me into the Fast Pass lane. And that line wasn't moving. And there were people that actually had fast passes and who'd done it before, and they said this is not normal. Anyway, I asked this usher or whatever you want to call him, guy. I said, "See my friend," and he's like, "No, like I don't want to talk to you." And so he started talking to other people. So a few minutes later, I asked him again, and he goes, "Oh, let me talk to my colleague." So he talked to another guy, and he came over and he said, "Oh, are you by yourself?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, then you need three pieces of paper. You need your passport, you need your fast pass, and you need your QR code. You need three items." And I said, "Well, I've only got two." And he goes, "Well, then you're in the wrong line." And I said, "Well, I was told to go here." And he goes, "Well, you were misinformed. You need to change lines." So I did, and I gave that woman who was telling me to go there in the first place, I gave her a piece of my mind, but I didn't go too hard on her because I know that she's overworked anyway. Um, so I went into the right line, and that line actually moved um, fairly smoothly. Not fast, but we didn't stand around for long anyway. And I got put through, and then I went into the luggage carousel, and I stood there for 10 minutes. Couldn't see my bag. I saw other bags come around 4 or 5 times. And then I noticed a bunch of bags sort of in a huddle off to the side. Somebody had already taken them off and grouped them up. And I went over. At first, I didn't see my bag there. And then I took a closer look, and my bag was there. And I'm like, "What is this?" Because at first I thought it was for some tour group. And I asked the porter, I said, "Hey, what's this all about?" And he says, "Oh, your luggage was marked priority." So I pulled it off the carousel. And that priority designation is something you get when you fly premium economy with Air Canada. Um, so I stood around for 10 minutes for nothing. Then I had to go do the whole declaration and biometrics and QR code again, just to get out of the inspection part of the airport. So I found myself in the main lobby, and I knew I wasn't going to make the train I wanted. So I went and I found out how to get a Welcome Suica card, which is a cashless payment card. Got one. That was super easy. But then that was down they say one level, but it was actually sort of two levels from the ground level. And then I had to go back up to the ground level and then back and then up again to the second floor and to go into these shower facilities, which are actually really nice. And I can totally understand why somebody after a long flight would want to pay for an hour's worth of time in the shower room. I paid for half an hour. It was 1,500 yen for 13.50, 14 bucks. Well worth it. I still sweat a little bit on the train ride in, and the bus ride. Anyway, I took the low-cost bus from Narita, and usually it's empty when I get on it, but I got on at Terminal 1 like I normally do, and it was almost packed. I think I probably got the last seat. There was a guy who was doubling up because he's working on his laptop and he didn't want to sit, facing the direction of travel. He wanted to sit sideways, and anyway, so I took the last seat after that. And we got in. It took an hour and 10 maybe on the bus, which is about normal. That's what it was last time I clocked it. And then I paid $2.10 to ride my regular train line to Shinjuku. Got off at Shinjuku and switched train lines, which was a bit of a process. I had to walk, and luckily I picked the right direction, or maybe I picked the wrong one at first and then switched direction. I had to walk. I had to leave their paid area of the station, buy my ticket for the new train line, come back in, and I'm stood on the platform and my train is right there, but it's full. And there's people queued up in front of me and people queued up behind me now. But the next one's only coming in 11 minutes, and I don't care. I'll wait. I knew this train was pretty regular anyway. That is a 10-stop limited express on the KO line. And it was really packed at first, but on the last 2 or 3 stations, the train was fairly empty. Anyway, the guy that was behind me, like, I can only go as fast as the guy in front of me, and the guy behind me shoved past me. And he knew, like, he had a backpack too. I had a backpack and a rolly bag. And in the first bit, there was this girl. We were standing back to back. She was actually like putting her weight on me. She wasn't trying to like crush me into the pole or anything, but she was using me as like a buttress. But eventually the crowd thinned out, and that was about, I don't know, 10 to 8 when I got on that bus. No. I got on the LCB at Narita Airport at 5:50. We got into Tokyo Station at about 7 o'clock, give or take. And then I got on the KO line train at 10 to 8. Yeah. But it was actually pretty quick getting into Hachioji. I got here at about 8:30. Checked into my hotel at 9, just about 9. But I made a stop at the donut shop. I wanted to get the staff some thank you donuts. Yeah. And the whole point of this video is to show you this. I finally went for it. Spam Musubi. I've been keeping an eye out for it, but they only sell it at a particular convenience store that I don't really frequent anymore. I used to back in 2007, 2008. It was my go-to store. but some mediocre experiences since then has sort of made me look elsewhere. But I'm going to try it. I got this. This is my dinner. That's it. I probably overate at the Maple Leaf Lounge in Vancouver, and I'm just not very hungry right now. But I got this and a couple beers, and that's going to be it before I go to bed. All right, take it easy. I'm filming this on my phone. Somebody said you get better close-up shots. The GoPro sort of loses perspective when you go close up. And I've got the whole kit with me. It's basically 60% of my backpack, but I might not even use it. I've got a memory card on my phone. It's like 256 gigabytes. That's like almost 20 of the phones, the actual phone, almost the same memory as 20 of the phones. So we'll see. Take it easy.